Hey guys, how's it? Aloha. Okay, as I'm going to cycle through some of the bands, I'm going to bring you Gojira, Born in Winter, my bad. I've been loving doing these old composer. I'm having a blast. I'm learning to work with all of the comments and all the suggestions. I know people are starting to go, but I said 5 times, 8 times. I'm going to do the best I can to get to everything, but I am going to do a new band I have never heard before after this, so I'm doing 3 today. This is number 2. The first one I did is Polyphia, now it's Gojira. So I want to thank you ahead of time for the comments. I want to thank you ahead of time for subscriptions, and thank you ahead of time for the cup of coffee. You guys know that my channel is not monetized, so you like buy me coffee, chee-hoo, all right. You know, the link will be down there below. Plus, it also helps what I do with the kids and the video shout out. And that link is down there if you guys want to check out what I do on the side. Anyhow, let's, ooh, hot, spicy. Let's do this. Let's have a blast. It's Aloha Friday. I'm kind of, hey, chee-hoo, kind of light-minded, kind of like gummy bear startup kit. All right, here we go. Stupid. All right, this feels like a good place to stop. So many little things to talk about on this that I so dig. Well, let's just start off with the arpeggiation that they started, or an ostinato, depending on what kind of language you want to use here. But since I don't do theoretical breakdowns, and this is just about you know, people who can listen to music and just listen to music and not get all crazy like we do and break it down. That repeating pattern that you hear. The first thing is, it's a real cool pattern, and it's very hypnotic. This is in a tone that speaks to you here. I'm not going to get deep on musical tone segregation and how different parts of the, you know, from 0 to 16K in which you hear affect you emotionally, you know, and mentally and stuff like that. This sits right here, and I love the fact that they're just keeping you in the pocket with this. The arpeggiation, but it's not just in one note. The notes that they're choosing to go around where you would typically hear, let's say, a chord change. So instead of going dum, ding, ding, ring, which would, let's say a guitar would play something like that, what they decide to do with those chords is the pattern. So that chord, they're doing a pattern, they change what would think to be a chord, but what they do is they didn't change the pattern, they changed the notes in the pattern. So they kept that, which is really, really, really cool. And it really sinks you into place. The tone of the bass and the guitar is very unique. And that's another thing. I don't know what to expect. I'm only halfway through it, so there could be all kinds of stuff coming at me. But it sounds like they purposefully really pocketed in this little tone range that I'm feeling. The drums, I love, this is the beat, something like that, I mean the tempo. But the way the drums are playing kind of gives you a forward motion kind of, it's cooking, that's the hi-hat. But the kick snare, or that tempo, is in a halftime. And that is so cool to me. I love tracks like that because you can expand on that in so many different ways. Then you can go to regular time and then double time, still be in the tempo, and take this track into so many different directions. And then the vocals. Wow, I don't know who's singing. I dare never say effects. I went through that with Ginger once and I got my ass handed to me. Nicely, everybody was kind, but what I do know is if they're using some kind of super warm old school tube mic along with this, just the tone in the singer's voice, there is some, I believe it sounds like there is some layering and some doubling that's going on just to make it thicker and rich to fit in this pocket. And it's very cool, very unique. Everything we've been listening to has been all about these huge intervals and really super powerful vocalists in all these bands, from growling all the way up to singers that are hitting these just sick notes. But right now, this is a travel check in composition. It's like going somewhere. It's almost like you're cooking, but they don't want to go full throttle yet. So that holding back on the halftime and then the tonal setup right there just really keeps you in this kind of ominous, kind of trudging forward. Anyhow, I yammer on. Let's keep going. Okay, so obviously I spoke way too soon in my last break on where that power, if it was coming or not, and it came. Now, remember I was talking about the drums, you know, the opportunity of playing at half time, regular time, double time, in this particular tempo. So first, boom, it hits me. I was like, I should have known better, all right, because this is the prog rock, the metal scene and stuff like that. And so now the power comes in. I got to go back to the drums, because what happened was the guitars were still doing a pattern, but it lost a little bit of it. Now, I don't mean lost like they on purpose, but when you turn the distortion up the way it does, some of the velocity, the precision of the velocity that we're hearing in cleaner sounds to make that arpeggiator, they're doing the same thing, or they have another arpeggiation going, but the guitars have blasted their overdrive, however they did it. And now the kick drum of the drummer took over. At first I was going, all right, now they're going to go into regular time, but they kept that half time, and the kick drum of the drummer was like, but still had, I don't know if that was the pattern, but the snare was still on half time. Another thing about the drummer I wanted to mention, I'm kind of goobering a little bit on the drummer right now. Man, that first section, I forgot to mention the ghost notes that are going on. Those are the notes that you hear on the snare from a drummer that are in between the obvious. So if it was just it got a lot of space, but it's like that little that you hear is the ghost notes on the snare. Remember, I'm not doing a theoretical and professional breakdown. I'm trying to explain it for the people who just love and enjoy the music. And then the power punches all the way through. The drummer really elevates it seemingly elevates the tempo by doing all that hardcore kick work along with the bass and the drums. Guitar in unison. The power of the vocals obviously escalate, and then they kick right back down, right back into the pattern. The same pattern. And I love that kind of dynamic in production. You're just taking those chances. You're going to do this, you're going to do that. It's not taking chances. It's just a form of expression that I love the composers and arrangers and musicians and bands and producers and engineers take. So anyhow, another epic trip for me for Gojira, Born in Winter. More Gojira obviously is going to be coming. In a few more hours, I've got a new band coming, so hang in for that. I'm doing quite a few for the next couple days because I got to take might even take a week off and just chill for some things I got to deal with. Old man stuff. Anyhow, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much for those of you who've bought me a cup of coffee, me in the future. AKG 240's link below. Link below for their Spotify and everything. And yeah, that's it. All right.